I've been working personally with the homeless population for 18 years and with West Suburban Pads for 12. And we're an agency that doesn't just address one need. When people come to us, they have lost absolutely everything, from connections with family to their employment, obviously to their housing, and they have lost direction in their life. The medical clinic is housed at one of our emergency shelter locations, First United Church of Oak Park.
When they come in, the first thing their priority is to get a pad, get some dinner. Their first basic needs are met.
We have to try and meet all of those service gaps that we see in the community and try to bring partnerships together and those resources together.
Hi, good to see you again.
We started partnering with Loyola about 7 or 8 years ago.
We have encouraged our residents to participate in a sort of primary care clinic that's held for the homeless people in the pad shelters in Oak Park.
Sometimes they just want to see the nurse to get their blood pressure taken or get an over-the-counter medication, a wound check. Sometimes they definitely do need to see the doctor.
It gives you a sense of humility after coming out of the clinic. There's a lot of hustle and bustle that happens in our own clinics at Loyola or at Hines, and especially in the inpatient setting, and then you come here and you realize, you know, the extent to which we can actually help people.
Throwing in the medical aspect to all of those definite, you know, life needs, I think is so important, because that's the number one thing that they give up is their health when they don't have anything.
And I think one of the most interesting things for me overall about the clinic has been learning people's background stories of how they actually came to be homeless and how their situation actually arose. And one night at clinic I met a lady around my age who was very well educated, well spoken, and explained to me that she was going to graduate school and eventually had to just choose between paying rent or paying her tuition, and decided that her education was more important than having a place to live, so she was staying in the PADS clinic shelter and needed some help with some sores on her feet that had just come about from her living situation, not having proper footwear and being on her feet all the time. And I remember thinking, you know, how close we all are to being in that situation.
Making a connection with healthcare is definitely something that's very important. It's kind of like holding their hand and taking them to the next step. It's very hard for our clients in general to navigate life, and then to navigate the healthcare system is almost impossible.
We don't have, you know, expensive machines and tools there at the PADS clinic. What we have is a voice and a touch and a motivation, and I think giving that to the patients is great.
I also see benefit in ourselves, you know. You get a little bit more grounded and down to earth just for coming here.
I think this experience has made me a better doctor in the sense that it just reminds me constantly of the need that is out there, and not only of how lucky and blessed my life has been, the privilege of having an education like I do and being able to do what I do every day. It reminds you that that's not the path that everyone gets to take.
And it was always my belief, even from way back when I was a student, that there's lots of need right in our own backyard. So I have always been a proponent of making sure that we also have a place in our own community, taking care of our neighbors. Some of them are our patients that come to the hospital or come to the emergency room, but in the wider metropolitan area as well. I think there's a real need that we're able to fulfill, and we do.
We're so grateful that Loyola continues to support this medical clinic, because we wouldn't have it. We wouldn't be able to afford the program if we had to pay for these services. So it's very important that we have that connection with the hospital.